I are crazy.
I applaud you.
This is what crazy looks like. Isn't it decorative? Okay, so this panel, and apparently I need to put it here, this panel. This panel is about sacrificing your favorite scene in order to save your story. Is that what you're here for, or do you just want to know about the Green Lantern outfit?
Has that happened before?
Yes. Is that what everyone's here for? Groovy. All right. We shall get moving in the forward-like direction as soon as I remember my password. All right. Hey, that was the right one. All right. As the voice goes, the microphone will become more part of my throat and my enunciation will go down. Just saying. No, we don't want that one. No, I don't want that. No, you don't care about that. All right. All right. Now, there is a moment when you decide to write a story. And that usually happens because something gives you a great idea. Yes? We're there? A scene will come to you in the shower, or in the car, or in the night. You build your entire story around this scene. And then, when you go through the story from the front to the back, the story has gone around the scene like a pipe in a horrible accident. Know what I mean? You're faced with the hardest decision in the world. Remove the pipe, or leave it in, and have your story walk around forever with a pipe stuck through it until it dies. Well, I must admit that walking into a restaurant and seeing a guy sitting at the counter with a 2-foot pipe through the innards is definitely an interesting story that I really want to hear. But having your creation with its handicap, not as useful. So, you know, the piece doesn't work, you have to get out the scalpel. Step 1. Hey, you are such an M. Thank you. Sorry, that's an inside joke from one of the other 11 panels. They all blur together. This is an M. It's the universal sign for you're a dick. See?
Yeah.
People think that that's the M in YMCA. It's not. The M is this. This is you being a dick. Now you're part of the joke. That was from panel 4, so you were really, really up to speed. All right, step 1, find the concept. Okay, add a point to the scene. Maybe the scene shows the beginnings of intimacy between 2 characters. And maybe this is the intro to a villain. And if my voice is driving you nuts, I can have another human read this. Okay. Do you want to?
I could, yeah.
Let's put it this way. I'm going to have people come up and in turn read a paragraph of my writing.
Well, I could read for as long as you want me to.
Oh, but everybody wants a chance. Yes? Yes. Okay. So you come up and then you get right behind her. And everybody wants to read a paragraph. Just get in line.
Just get
Because
some more.
that would be wonderful. Okay. So you are going to read step 1.
Is it working?
Yeah, it is. Or you can just
Really?
speak up.
Is it really working?
Put it inside your mouth.
Ah.
Yeah, see?
That way you can. Okay. Step 1, find the concept. You had a point in this scene. Maybe this scene shows the beginnings of intimacy between 2 characters. Maybe this is the intro of a villain. Maybe you just like the setting. Write down what it is that you liked about the scene specifically and set it aside.
Great. Next.
All right, so step 2, huh?
Step 2.
All right, step 2, delete the scene. Yeah, you got it. Highlight the scene and actually delete it. If you truly can't bear to do away with it, cut it, then paste it into a different document that has all your favorite cutscenes. However, your writing has changed, your style has changed since you wrote it. You've gotten better, right? Gotten better, stronger, faster. It's time to remove this from your life. All right.
Okay.
Great.
Isn't this fun?
I think
Wow.
that's step 3
You're on
rewrite.
step 3.
I didn't say cutting the scene meant never seeing it again. You'll rewrite it, use your new, better, stronger writing style, and try re-envisioning the scene.
Step 4. See if it will fit somewhere else in the story. Your scene may not do well where it was originally placed, but see if it will now work in a different area. Introducing a villain who sweeps in wearing a long, sexy coat may become a perfect scene when he ends up getting arrested or killed. And the coat does its long, sexy thing splashed with blood and handcuffs.
See, anybody can do this.
Step 5. When all else fails, give it a nice funeral and raise a glass in its honor. Showing your respect to the inspiration this scene gave you is the best way to make sure your muse does not desert you. The creative process is a fickle mistress. Don't offend her.
And that's it. Thank you, Barb.
Get out.
Yes, that is very much true. When I first started writing the book that we had on the table, I tried to tell the characters what to do. Now, they were being really, really kind to me and letting me watch them in the first place. And when I said, well, I wrote this scene and I really, really like it. It's really, really kind of the center of the scene. And I think it needs to be in the story. And they went, isn't she adorable? And I went, yes, I am, and in control. And they went, oh, really? And then they stopped talking to me for 5 years. Yes. Once they started speaking to me again, I said, let me write this down for you, sir. And that's pretty much all I did. But as the story went along, it very much evolved. I'm a big believer in your first sentence out of the chute needs to catch, oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Darn it, she moved again. Your first sentence out of the chute needs to get their attention. Okay? The first line of my book is, I want you to assassinate the king. Okay? So now you're going, I bet this is a medieval setting, or something with kings at least, and that guy wants him dead, or girl. But now you, at the very least, want to go along and find out what the gender is of the person who just spoke. In one of the other stories, the first line is, His Holiness will see you now. So, well, there's only one guy named His Holiness, that's the Pope. So you're now in a city where there's a Pope, apparently over there. Maybe over there. I gotta read the second sentence to find out if he's over there or over there, because that could be really important to my GPS. But you need to have that grabber. That first scene, honestly, I wrote it in 1991. The characters stopped talking to me for, how long was that again? You guys were listening? Oh my God. And then I started writing again. A decade after it was written, I still had not ever re-looked at the first scene, like at all. It was perfect. I wrote it, it was perfect. It doesn't matter that I wrote it a century ago, or at least in the last millennia. I didn't re-look at that scene until 2 months before it went to print. That was January of this year that I looked at it for the first time in, at that point, 20 years. It was awful. I'm looking at a scene that has been the core of everything that I have set this entire story on. And I know for a fact that that story has evolved. Those characters have evolved. That guy would never have said that. My God, who in the hell wrote this crap? And I had to rewrite it. And I had to cut out a chunk. And I'm going, it doesn't apply anymore. But it's been so quintessential. It's just a paragraph, but it's so essential. This is where we describe her clothes. It's like, really? You describe her clothes. You feel like you need this much space to describe her clothes. They don't care, she's in a cage. They'd really like to find out why. Why? I've got a wonderful idea. Why don't you make her clothes and wear them to, a con. And then when people ask you, wow, what anime are you from? You can say, it's really new, and I think you'll like it. But in the end, but we were upstairs. Another reason why my voice sounds like this is we were upstairs doing the audiobook today. And when we were actually going through that scene again, and having Scott C. Brown, the very nice man who brought me this lovely tea, and he's reading it out loud, and I'm going, no one is going to sit through an 18-hour car ride when this is the third paragraph. And I had to cut out even more stuff. So, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that understanding the purpose of the scene, understanding who's going to be reading it, who's going to be listening to it, do they really care about that, really? You just told them you want them to assassinate the king, and there's a woman in a cage. And the third paragraph, you're going to describe her shoes. So, surgically removed, much better. Much, much better. And you guys don't have to deal with that. Don't worry, you'll see what her outfits look like in person.